Well, let's try that again. As this is the Core O'Reilly series presented by SimRaces.com. As didn't realize we had the mics muted, but
Oh,
we're on a new format here tonight. We're here at the Talladega Superspeedway. New format for the season is that it's not just qualify and then race. These drivers will have to qualify. The top 20 make it to the feature. The rest will need to go to the last chance qualifier, which you seen finishing up there on the screen before we got this thing rolling here, and it is now time for the race here. The last chance qualifier, only the top 10 make it to finish out a 30-car grid here for tonight. Carl Hand, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, as I already said, but nobody heard, welcome to Big Bad Talladega.
yeah, Big Talladega. Shortened my speech a little bit here, but white knuckling here. Different format for the drivers out here tonight to try to clean things up a little bit, maybe make the fields just a little bit smaller, so a little more emphasis on qualifying. Maybe not too much, not too hard for some of the faster drivers, but one of the faster drivers could mess up, find themselves on a last chance qualifier, and maybe not even make the field. We had one of our points, or one of our rookies, more likely going to be a platinum driver there with Joseph Choslowski there, and back in, he obviously finished up there, and we'll be starting in P number 20. So 30 drivers out here to get things going here tonight. I want to see. Uh-oh, my bad. Well, that ain't gonna work.
What happened?
I gotta turn that off. Nah, I'm just
Okay.
clicking buttons and almost edited my own stuff. Anyways, go back here, get this edit thing off. Yeah, for our overall here qualifying tonight. See if it shows.
Well, we're about ready to get this thing rolling here as the pace car is going to pull in here. We got our 30 cars. Looks like 29 of them are going to be starting from the track. Only one going to be starting from pit lane. That's Steve Harris. Not sure why or how it's going to work out, but Alan Elwood on the front row along with his teammate AJ Roderick, Michael Rakes, Billy Rickett, Luis Arduna for your top 5. And it's time to go racing here at Talladega, and already a bunch up here on the start. Not sure what happened, but didn't even get to the start-finish line. We already got a yellow.
Yeah, it looked like either a jump or a spin there from the start, and everybody's excited, sitting and watching the last chance qualifier, or just got done, and already something back there. See the likes of Joe Sullivan, Gary Wright, Jeremy Gainey, and Travis Noble being involved back there. So yeah, Steve Harris electing to start from the pits. Maybe not a bad option. He was nowhere. He would have been in the back and probably would have had to avoid that wreck. So smart call.
It looked like it happened right here with the 67 of Colin Flickiger. No, the 85 right there gets into the back of the 3. 67 backs up, and you see that's kind of where the melee starts. And really gets a little rough towards the back here. The 180 of Chris Hayes gets sent around. And the big one before we even get rolling here, unfortunately. And this is not what the drivers, I'm sure, wanted to see. They only got one faster pair. And, Jimmy, this is a track where you need the fenders all pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have, some cars getting messed up pretty good. But, yeah, definitely... 55 laps, Carl. Obviously, everybody wanting to go and getting wrapped up there a little bit. So hopefully the cars are in good working order here, and things will, get going here. But yeah, Alan Elwood still in the lead here on lap number 1. Caution number 1. They still have a lot of amount of time to get out here. 55 laps is a pretty decent size race here at Talladega. It's like a lot of white knuckling. Being side by side, and hopefully that was the one and only here tonight. We did get to see a green flag race from start to finish last night with the Hold Your Brakes Academy. It was a sight to see. It was awesome, and they were at the Rock, a track that can pose problems, bumps, and whatever. But they did have the option or the ability to kind of spread out pretty early there, Carl. It was one of those unique tracks, and it drives a little bit different, and definitely not a Talladega. where everybody's got that huge draft keeping up with each other, and can cause huge problems. But does look like Harris will get the wave around. Yeah, he should be. I think he gets the wave around. A lucky dog.
It was kind of weird how
Um,
it was how it kind of all transpired there, and you would think he would get the wave around, but I'm not sure because we had some other cars that ended up getting going a lap down because of being involved in the incident. So because of how it got scored and the fact that they didn't get to the start finish line, I don't know how it's going to actually work out here. So we'll see how it all plays out right now. Alan Elwood is your leader. It looks like Steve Harris is lined up in front of the 5, so he should be able to get the wave around, and we'll get this thing back underway. Should be next time by here. We'll get the other one lap to go. But to give you an idea of the cars in the field, as you've seen them there in the opening, and we'll get the class display up there as well for everyone. But yeah, we first time we had the LCQ here, and we had 35 drivers out here tonight. Only the top 30 made the field, and that's basically going to be the format for the majority and the rest of the season here on every track except for Watkins Glen. Coming up in a couple weeks, that one is going to be everyone makes the field on that one. It'll be the only other race this season other than this one that the drivers will have one fast repair. The rest of the season, 0 fast repairs. So you wreck it, you're going to have to sit in there and wait till it gets repaired. So we'll see how that plays out right there into the aggressiveness and how these drivers handle it. And it's all in an attempt to clean it up here because it's been a little bit of a rough ride here to start the season 8, and trying to do everything that we can to clean it up. And I know it's some big changes here, and taking a swing for the fences. But sometimes, Jimmy, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, obviously the month of April has been not a good one for across CRN in general until last night, and like I said, I'm hoping these drivers are able to kind of get stuff cleaned up. So it does look like that 34 going to get the wave around here. You're not involved, was in the pits coming out, and I'm surprised that they even registered him a lap down when that happened, but. Either way, 134 will get back around there on the lead lap, and Alan Elwood's going to be up front with AJ Roderick. So, some teammates up there: Rakes, Orduna, Jensen, Phelps, Renner, Emerson, Crockett, Flickinger, and up there in the top 10, Grube, Gilbert, Truskowski, Van Westen, Algrini, Couch, Gainey, Halford, Thomas, and Drummonds up in there in the top 20. Then Jerry Cruz, Vorst, Rickett, Noble, Lapon. Or Lapan, whatever, I don't know how he says it. And then Wright, Winters, Sullivan, Harrison, Hayes. So it's 30 drivers trying to compete here. So last week we had 40,
42,
right?
I think. Yeah, 42, I think last week.
So,
yeah.
A few drivers elected not to come out tonight. Maybe a little frustrated by the previous few weeks, but hopefully it will roll over. Maybe they're watching out there live. So if you are, welcome to the broadcast here on the safe side. And hopefully the drivers put on a good drive here tonight and see if the format works out here. We have to change something. We're not trying to discourage anybody coming out and racing here at Core for sure, but we want to make sure you're up to speed. Last chance qualifier, gives you that opportunity to get out there, get some practice. If you did scuff up your qualifying and still get in, and so the first 20 do get locked in, and the next 10 got to fight their way in. If there's less than 30, well then they'll have a quick 15-minute little practice race just to kind of sort out their position, right?
I think, well, actually, yeah, because it's heat racing, that might be how it works. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, maybe just kind of set the final grid there. But just give you an idea real quick as we're about ready to get this thing back underway. Try and show you the results of the LCQ if we can, but I can't. And
19 slow on the backstretch. I'm not quite sure what was going on, and Harris and the 11 had to check up and wait for that 19 to go so they can get a black flag. So now a couple cars will be a little bit behind here, but it could be a blessing if something up towards the front ends up happening. Well, we're back under green. They're working our way down the backstretch right now. Alan Elwood is out front.
Here we go. Real quick, I just want to show everyone the results real quick of the LCQ and show you who the drivers were that attempted to get in the field and could not here tonight. And that's going to be Jake Lesh, Zane Bierman, Aaron Edwards, Blaze Alltop, and Jason Chrisman were the ones that, see the drivers in white, were the ones that did not make the field here tonight. But the ones that did, top 30 out here, are out there racing. Alan Elwood in the lead. Michael Rakes now right behind him. AJ Roderick on that outside line. Luis Orduna, good qualifying effort. He's up there in third place right now. And pretty funny that the top 5 right now are all the leaders of their respective classes. You got Alan Elwood leading the race in the Platinum. Michael Rakes leading the rookies. Luis Orduna leading the bronze. AJ Roderick leading the golds, and then Dan Phelps leading the silvers. So, makes sense. All your leaders, top 5.
Yeah, they want no part of the back of the pack, and and that's one of the times that sometimes you're like on these long races, you kind of like to linger towards the back, but you don't have to end up driving through carnage. People sliding and not being able to judge where they're going, whether they get back on the brakes and whatnot. So I know a lot of drivers do tend to like to hang in the back, just in case. Maybe keep that eyes open, but not being in the middle of the pack. But some of those times there, you kind of want to be up there and get your car in a position to have a great finish here. And obviously, got plenty of laps here. Early start, mistakes happen, misshift. Whoa, AJ, you it's a little bob of the breath from the 56 on the outside of Luis Orduna, able to catch it, and that will actually happen in the next-gen car. One, I don't even know if it would happen in the next-gen car. We're pretty prominent, but maybe at least they get wild. But we're not in the next-gen. We're in the O'Reilly series, a new founded here by iRacing, changing it over to match the real-life cars out there and the sponsors. And the O'Reilly series is now active here on CRN and at with Core. So good running right now. Too wide. Looks like a little outside action by the 451, getting pushed to the outside. Looks like Chris Gilbert's going to lose a few spots. A little bit of patience. Let the field go by. Drop back in when it's clear, and he should be good to go there in the Kubota machine. But I mean, that's exactly what he does. So just fall back just a little bit. A few drivers, I believe, are a little bit farther back.
Yeah, we've got a few drivers. Looks like Travis Noble kind of out there by himself, about 3 seconds behind everyone. Looks like Joe Sullivan is actually off the pace. He's the first one that is back. As you see, Chris Gilbert is the last one in line here. Right now, it is Joe Sullivan that is kind of out here by himself, about 8 seconds behind everyone else. And probably wouldn't be bad if he just kind of woes up and joins Travis Noble right here. And Jason LePan is starting to catch up here as well. So at least have a 3-car tandem. Steve Harris a little bit off here. Maybe he can catch back up. They're all on the lead lap. Brian Vorse is on the lead lap as well, but you see quite a ways back behind the field, and he's your last car on the lead lap as you got Chris Hayes up here in the mix. He's the first car 1 lap down in the 180, and then Gary Wright looks like he may be done for the evening here already after almost 5 laps complete. But right now, Alan Elwood leads the way. Looks like AJ Roderick's finally got that outside line moving a little bit. Pulls up close to being even with his teammate on the outside as he's got the 85 of Dan Phelps pushing him. And then you got the 67 of Colin Flickiger. That was kind of both of those cars, the 85 and 67, involved slash, kind of starting the accordion on the opening lap of this race. But everyone doing a pretty good job right now, as for most of the field we are 2 by 2 by 2 as we're seeing some good racing. And Jimmy, maybe, just maybe, I know it's plenty early, but maybe you'll get your super speedway green flag stops here tonight.
I want a super speedway green flag stop, probably in the worst way. Obviously, it's a sight to see, especially when you have a good chunk of drivers come down at once, and I've seen as many as 25 to 30 trucks or cars couldn't do it, and flawless, no black flags, no cautions, no spin outs, and it's a sight to see. It just kind of gets your blood going to see, because it can, it's where everybody tenses up. Got some 3-wide action going on there with Jeremy Gainey. Looks like the 39 going to the outside, getting around. Number 48 and the 4, Dayton Drummond's following as well. And that no room for Datelin to kind of get in there. So still 3 wide between the 218, 48, and 4.
The 39 going to the outside now of the 37. I think 37 was blinking a little bit there, that being Chase Alford, so maybe the 39 just trying to get around to make sure he stays safe as they are 3 wide. As we got the 188, excuse me, of Jacob Grube on the inside. And that's the only 3 wide we got, as it looks like, it looks like Allegrini is going to drop down to the bottom, a little bit towards the back of the field. But 29 cars still out there running, and 29th car, Chris Hayes, just at the fastest lap of the race. Go figure. It's what happens here with the drafting, and we'll show you the speeds that these drivers are doing, which is nothing to sneeze at for sure. And looking on board here with Mac Rocket, see at 190 plus miles an hour down the backstretch here in the draft, and I'm sure a lot of that is lifting a little bit too. These drivers don't want to waste. I don't want to use up too good of runs right now because they're right behind somebody. They just want to kind of just cruise in line for the most part, make their way through a good chunk of this race, because we say it all the time, Jimmy, as
Correct.
the 3 wide eventually comes to a head between a 39 and 37, and that is going to bring out a caution here on lap number 12.
And I believe that was on, might have been on Chase Halford for that one, but as I'm taking a look back here, 37 out there, comes down, bobbles, and comes up net code between the 37 and 39.
Net code. I mean, that was.
It might have happened, but
it's hard. Even Jeremy Gainey right there probably wouldn't have got caught if it wouldn't have been for netcode. Allegrini and Cruz get taken out by the 39, spinning sideways. But I mean, we'll take a look at the initial contact there again with Ethan Winters and Chase Halford, and I mean it was absolutely horrible. There's I don't want to say a half a car length in between them, but damn near close to it. I mean, you see that the 37 does drift up a little bit, but there's so much room in between them, and it's not even like it's the air lifted off the back of the 37. That's just horrible net code. And like I said, even Jeremy Gainey there technically should have got by. There was room in between those two cars as well. But unfortunately, Gainey gets tagged up in it. But only one walking away with a meatball in this one is Chase Halford, as it looks like Halford had to tow it back to pit lane. But pit lane, I think, is where it's going to get mighty busy. And unfortunately, Jimmy, one chance at a green flag pit stop is done and dusted right here. They will still have at least one more attempt here, because in 55 laps, they're not going to make it all the way to the end from here. We should still see maybe an attempt at one more, but I'm sure everyone coming down this time. It was going good for a while.
The only person that's not coming down is probably the likes of the 180 of Chris Hayes, but it does look like he's coming in. So maybe involved and not going to get that lucky dog, and it's going to be still 1 lap down. Halford ended up with a meatball. They seen smoke coming off that vehicle as he was getting back around, but obviously drivers coming into the pits right now, and drivers using maybe a couple too many boxes in some instances. But Carl, I know we tried to tell him, obviously no more than two stalls and coming back, but sometimes with all the incidents and stuff that's been happening, I don't blame some of the drivers ducking early into the stall lane, because the stall lane, you can't make contact with somebody. You can make contact with a wall, but you can drive through the whole field here at iRacing. So
but here's where it gets a little sketchy with that. I mean, it's you won't have to make contact with anybody, but unless you got a bright pit board that you absolutely can pick out of anything, I mean, it can get tough to find where your pit stall is. If you qualify somewhere up in say like 12th or something like that, it can get really tough to try and pick out where's my pit box. And I know iRacing and some other overlays will have a little countdown. Say they're 5 to go or 3, 2, 1 to your stall, but it can still get a little bit sketchy. And we say how much time you can make up or lose on pit road. Last thing you want to do is kind of be tentative coming into your pit stall and losing a couple tenths of a second. Now, under caution, it's not going to hurt as much, but still could cost you a couple spots.
Yeah, you don't want to lose spots if all possible, and you want to kind of get out there and obviously you want to have a good time. You want to have a good pit stop and whatnot. So a lot of drivers, taking 4 tires, making sure they're topped off on fuel. I still have 30 laps to go. 30. 33 laps to go. So yeah, I mean that if they can go 33 laps on the full fuel they have, cool. And if not, then especially if they have another caution, it might put them in that window. Cautions at super speedways are usually higher chance than a lot of tracks, but I'm hoping for a good, you know, less than perfect, or with the no cautions, and so we'll see. So far only two for the night. We had one over there in the last chance qualifier, but early. But I think the first one, initial one here, Carl, was just some nerves, a misshift, and a lot of people, they have H pattern shifters that get used on these cars, and if you miss the wrong gear, or you go from first to third instead of first, or first to fourth instead of first to second, or second to fifth, or whatever you're doing, you can be that slow, and with everybody trying to jump on the gas so they maintain that draft becomes vital. But yeah, right now we're on lap number 14, and Alan Elwood is your leader. Dan Phelps, AJ Roderick, Michael Rakes, Lewis O'Doon for top 5, back Croc, Dylan Everson, Colin Flickinger, Joe Thomas, Jared Couch up there for your top 10. Biggest mover of the race is going to be Josh Van Westen at 19 spots.
It looked like Dan Phelps beat the 5 of Alan Elwood out of the pits, but I guess I was wrong. Maybe it was just the angle we were looking at. So Alan Elwood is still going to be your leader, and kind of works out nice because he's got AJ Roderick now right behind him, and they can certainly work as a team to try and get this thing done. Certainly got some drivers that we're keeping an eye on, moving up and down through the field. Josh Van Westen was the final qualifier to make it in here tonight through the LCQ, and he has now made it up to the top 10 in 10th place right now. Joseph Truskowski, again, the other one that we're keeping an eye on because he is your points leader. We'll take a look at the points here real quick before we get back going, as we don't have the rookies in the standings just yet, but overall I will tell you that Truskowski is your overall points leader coming into tonight. But Alan Elwood right now technically leads the Platinum by 12 points over JP Phillips, 27 over Nico Garcia. The gold we see there, Joey Cruz leading. Joseph Sullivan and Nathan Nickerson are your other division leaders. But it's time to go back to green flag racing here at Talladega as Alan Elwood leads him back to the restart zone. The long, slow creep to the United Rentals restart zone, and we're back underway.
Back underway. Obviously, you don't want a huge start. Oh, and really. Wow. And no caution.
Let's see, the 85 slowed up there, but I didn't see what happened. I see a meatball flag as well. Take a look at the green flag here one more time and see what happened. A little slow to the jump right there. Right there, you see mischief by the 85. And unfortunately, gets him turned to the outside wall, and that's how quick it can happen. But you see it kind of really bogged down on him, and that most likely was the case. As we'll get you back live, and Dan Phelps gonna have to limp it back to pit lane. But you see, it's kind of spread out this field, single file for quite a few positions until we get to some more double file. As back here, I guess, is the battlefield right now, Jimmy.
Yeah, battlefield too wide. the front kind of trying to break away here. Single file, stay in line and get going. You stay single file, you follow the guy in front of you, as long as somebody's not pushing the pusher, everything kind of lines up. But tough break there for number 85. We just talked about missing shifts, and it happens and it stinks. And the car behind him was right there. And when that shift happened, Dan Phelps bogged down and got a too good of a push, and one way, just a slight way to the other, not a square push, and not enough there by whoever it was behind him to get him going and up to speed after missing that gear. So just a tough break there for number 85, because I know Dan Phelps, he usually does pretty well at the super speedways, to be honest, Carl. I know he's been racing with us for quite some time, and he really kind of shines when it definitely comes to some of these races, these pack races. Able to get that car up there. Usually does a good job using the draft and working with people to usually get pretty decent finishes, especially at places like Talladega. So it's kind of sad to see Phelps down there. Obviously, come in, get that fast repair real quick, and come back out. Only one lap down, so it's not over by no means.
No, not at all.
But that definitely hurts his chances of a win here tonight if this thing were to go green the rest of the way. And the fact that he's back there and well, he's not too far behind, so he needs to catch the 180 though and get around the 180. So we kind of have a race within a race. At the moment, between your lap cars, the 180s at the tail end of the longest line here, right, followed by number 39. The 180 just needs to kind of, because he's getting closer to the middle of the pack where everything's at. If I'm the 180, I'm just keeping toe, and then hope Akasha comes out. Jimmy Gainey going high, I see, and slow off the pace. You see even the outside line. Towards the back there, and the number 10 of Matt Crockett is able to get by him. And
easy there. Allegrini gets a little bit spicy there, but they make it on by. The question I have though, Jimmy, is there something wrong with the one? I mean, I see that the damage in the back there. Well, he was off pace a little bit on the last run there, and off the back of the pack. But now here again, falling pretty far behind, about 9 seconds off the pack. I mean, I don't know if the back being packed in like it is. I mean, it's a skull car, so you got to pack it, right? I mean, it just it makes sense that you pack the can there a little bit, but it looks like maybe not working out too well for the one, unfortunately. He's got Michael Rakes a pretty good distance behind him, so it's actually the 85 of Dan Phelps. That's not too far behind Joe Sullivan, but we are going to have another caution here on the backstretch, and we got some major wrecked cars in this one. Looks like Dalton Drummond's, Jared Couch, and Ricky Renner are all going to walk away with a meatball on this one. We'll take a look and see what happened.
Yeah, 57, the Couch comes up off the line and gets into Dalton Drummond's, and obviously people slowing up. 59, not able to slow up too much, gets in the back of Harris, that gets into the 19. And then obviously everybody trying to avoid there. Looks like Jeremy Gady gets into Trzaskowski, is trying to slow down a little bit. But yeah, smokes are flying. Hoods are up on a few cars, whoever went down to the wall. So yeah, some big damage here. Fast repairs, I'm sure, for a lot of drivers are gone or about to be gone. But Alan Elwood is your leader, kind of enjoying the front up there right now. And if he doesn't have to come in and can make it the rest of the way, I don't think Alan will be moving from that spot anytime soon. And I'm sure he'll be willing to defend that position. Alan trying to get back to the booth here. And get himself a win in that number 5 here, defending champion for the season for the Platinum drivers, and trying to get start putting some of these headaches in the past here. And we know super speedways are tight, and incidents happen at a moment's notice and can be big between a few drivers. So it does get pretty hard when you're out there and you're driving and you make a move and then somebody makes the exact opposite move and you close each other really quickly to the sides and end up going around. But yeah, tough break here for some of the drivers here that got the meatballs and probably want to sit the night out. But Alan Elwood is your leader. AJ Roderick, Luz Orduna, Dylan Emerson, Colin Flickinger with your top 5.
We're going to have another round of pit stops here. Yeah, I don't blame them for this right here. It's been about 8 laps since the last one. It's not necessarily the tires, but you want to be topped off on fuel. I still don't think they're anywhere close to being able to make this thing to the end, as we still got another 34 laps left in this race. So they're still probably looking at one more pit stop here. But yeah, we're going to have another round of pit stops. Looks like... That's who that was. I was getting the wave around. Looks like the 180 of Chris Hayes looking to try and get the wave around and get back on to the lead lap. But a couple of cars mixed up in that one. Ricky Renner looks like he had to tow back to pit lane, so we'll see if we see him back out there. But that was a driver error right there, clearly. I mean, that wasn't, the last one, again, you hate you hate any kind of cautions, but I especially hate net code cautions, and especially when it's that egregious. That was absolutely horrible on that first one. But this one here, this was complete driver error there on the on the 57 there of Jared Couch, and hopefully we get the drivers to clean it up here a little bit, to get to the halfway point, get to the second half of this race, get to some good racing, because there's still plenty of time left. But that 5 not leaving the front at all, and same thing with the 56. Nope. I'm sure AJ doesn't mind these cautions at all, as he loves him some caution pit stops. Dylan Emerson doing a good job right now in the 41, as he is up 7 spots into third. Luis Orduna qualified up there in P number 5. And he's kind of kept that number 3 up there this entire time here in the top 5. He's running 4th right now. Joe Thomas had to go through the LCQ, and he has made it up here into 5th position right now. So that's kind of another like race within the race to see who who made it through the LCQ and who's going to finish towards the top. And maybe should almost be a bonus point for somebody if you had to race through the LCQ and you finished the highest out of anybody, or just straight up bragging rights that I survived and I finished well in the main event too. But looks like a black flag from Michael Rakes for whatever reason, maybe exiting unsafely, or maybe a little speeding on the exit. But Michael Rake's going to have to come in with the 016 once they get going green, and that's going to give up some track position and positions for him as well. But going to have the field double it back up here. We should see the 180 get his waiver round as soon as the pace car crosses the line. Lights are out. 180 will get the waiver round. We'll double him up behind, and we'll get this thing back to racing.
Looking forward to getting back to the racing here with the drivers out here at Core Racing League. Again, new format. Made them do some heat racing here tonight. Got them out there qualifying, and then the top 20 was in from their qualifying, and then the remaining cars needed to battle it out for the final 10 positions. Did lose 5 drivers for the evening, and as typical Dega style, accident final lap takes out a few drivers in the back, and some of the drivers who thought maybe their night was ended was kept alive there by that incident. So yeah, it was a tough break for the drivers getting sent home. I was rooting for Jake Lister. He ended up getting moved to the back there, and almost had it, missed it by 1. So but yeah, I was rooting for that number 51 to kind of see what he could do here tonight. I know there's another driver been following Jake for quite some time through some of the through UCRL. The drivers over there they come over and joined us here with Core, and Jake's been having some pretty decent runs and trying to stay out of problems, but caught up in the not being quite as fast as he needed to be to make the qualify or the top 20, and ended up falling victim to that. Not the incident itself at the end, but just kind of got moved back there. But maybe we'll see Jake out next week, see how things run out. But we're getting ready to go back to green, Carl, as they're rounding turn number 4 and getting ready to go start this thing back up.
Base car is off, and it's about time to get this thing back underway. Alan Elwood, AJ Roderick on the front row, Dylan Emerson, Luis Orduna in row number 2, and hopefully they take their time, slowly get this thing up to speed, as you definitely don't want to get a good jump here. You want to kind of roll into the throttle here, even as a leader. You don't want to get out there too quickly. And with the teammates on the front row, we haven't seen it played out just yet, but we see it sometimes where the leader will kind of back it up a little bit after he gets that start to let the guy on the outside get around and get down in front of him, and kind of go back and forth, pushing each other that way so they can be lined up. As you see now, Alan Elwood slides to the outside to try and drag AJ Roderick up to behind him, and it's going to do a great job here, as now they'll both be able to drop down to the inside. Unfortunately for Luis Orduna, he's pretty much out there by himself, excuse me, as apologize everyone out there. I'm a little bit under the weather here tonight, but getting this thing done regardless. Looks like the 80, Brian Vor's going to now tuck up behind the 3 of Luis Orduna. At least he got a little bit of help out there for him, but good amount of drivers still out there. Looks like Michael Rake's going to pull off in the MASH machine and come down and serve his black flag here under the green flag conditions, which sucks. You hate to do it, but it's what he's got to do. Now keep an eye. It looks like the one of Joe Sullivan. Not sure if he got the fast repair or not, but back end looks a little bit cleaner there, Jimmy, and maybe it's why he's been able to keep up at the back now.
Yeah, you never know. Obviously, you get in the smallest incidents, and sometimes you're like, how am I down power? I don't know, neck code damage through the size of the car or something. You know, maybe your car's out, tires out of whack a little bit and dragging or something. I don't know. But that outside line a little unorganized right now. It's that outside has fallen back. There's your Lucas Orduna finally picking up some cars on that outside. Now they need to work together, nose to tail, and kind of work that side draft if they want to get up towards the front. But you see a few drivers kind of bobbing in and out of the main line. You know, and at this point, you know, if you're comfortable riding behind somebody, just I don't know, put on some happy music and chill there for a little while. I mean, you still got plenty of laps out there. Only on lap number 26 of this 55 lap race, so we're not quite to the halfway mark.
Oh, and we're gonna have another incident here on the backstretch. Looked like Steve Harris tried to go 3 wide there, and gonna get involved with the 3 of Luis Orduna, and just a little bit too aggressive there on the backstretch, and going to cause an incident. We'll take a look at it here one more time. As you see right there, Luis Orduna came up a little bit into Stephen Harris as they went to go 3 wide, but some more drivers getting caught up in this one. Dalton Drummond's, I think that's his second meatball of the night, so that might be the end of the night for the 4. Jared Couch and Jeremy Gainey, both with meatballs as well. And that very well could be the end of the night for Jeremy Gainey, because I believe he was wrecked up pretty well as well. So maybe losing some cars after this one, but that's what happens when you only have one fast spare out there. You use it early for whatever reason, whether you have a little bit of damage or you have a meatball. If you have to use it early, you get involved in one more and your night is pretty much over. But, you know, we mentioned some of the drivers that we're keeping an eye on. Van Weston still up there in the top 10 in the 121, and now the car right in front of him is the other one that we're keeping an eye on, because he is your points leader coming in. Truskowski now up to 9th place. Out of the 3 races so far, we've had 3 different winners. Alan Elwood was able to win the season opener at the Rock. Truskowski took home the win at Bristol, and then Aaron Edwards last week won at Kansas. So we'll see if we have a 4th different winner here tonight, or if maybe Alan Elwood can claim another top spot. But right now, back under caution here at Talladega.
Yeah, just going back and rewatching what happened there, and obviously, nope, it looks like the 3 kind of lost a little bit of momentum, and when Steve Harris wanted to make go to the outside, the 3 drifted up, ended up getting into the 3, which ended up causing a chain reaction to some of the unfortunate drivers behind that incident. So, but another caution here with Core at Talladega, and laps are ticking down. We're down to we're up to lap number 27 now. Alan Elwood is still your leader, and drivers are deciding not to come in this time. So maybe they're good to go, maybe they're not. But track position kind of important here. You know, to those that are up in the front, trying to stick together. So, but a big wave of drivers have come in. Dan Phelps, Ethan Withers, Joey Cruz, Ethan Winters, Chris Gilbert, Chris Hayes, Travis Noble, Jason Algrini, Travis Noble, Michael Rakes, Drummonds, Harris, Gainey, all in the pits for either damage, fuel, or whatever it may need to be. Or maybe somebody just wanted to shift to the back just a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's certainly a viable option, especially at this point in the race. There's still plenty of time to go, but you don't want to be up there and involved in the incident. So if you're not at the front, if you're kind of stuck there in the middle, come back in. You know, if you got 1 or 2 other drivers that come in there with you, come into the pits, top off on fuel, and then worry about getting back out there and racing when the racing actually means something. Like right now, there's no reason to go 3 wide. There really isn't. I mean, unless you're avoiding something, you're trying to stay away from somebody that's you know, had a little bobble or blinking, whatever. That's about it. But to race and to try and pass and go 3 wide, Jimmy, it doesn't need to be done. It's not even, you know, halfway through the race. As we're coming up on it right now, there's no reason right now that you need to be racing this hard and trying to move up through the field. It means absolutely nothing right now.
Yeah, telling racers to not race until like 10 laps ago is obviously a big task, and it's not worth it. Or say don't race or don't take the opportunity. It did look like the one car did slow down and a little bit, and Harris had somebody behind him pushing and a little bit of pressure, and was had the nose right there. And then obviously when uh, they came up, it come across Harris's nose and ended up spinning and making the wreck. So, I mean, I get it, and you get that run, and you're, especially when there's single file and there's only a few drivers out there, and you're trying to keep that outside line alive. Maybe the move would have worked, but the drivers need to pay attention 360. And even with on single monitor, you wouldn't have been able to see somebody on your far right corner. But you should have got a call. Hopefully, they would have got a call. But it could have happened at the exact same time that he decided to try to move up. And when you're traveling at almost 200 miles an hour, small incidents are hard to come back for, and you can have big wrecks. And that happens in real life. Obviously, it's going to happen here in iRacing. I mean, real life, you don't have to worry about net code, or maybe they just call driver error net code out there in real life. I don't know.
Well, that's what kind of irritates you about it, because there was a nice run. Obviously we had the mix-up on the start of the race, but then after that they got to a nice green flag run, and it was all thrown away from major netcode. If that netcode doesn't happen, maybe they're still racing green right now. But because they had the first green flag or green when they had the first yellow flag come out, and it grouped everybody back up together, all of a sudden now, oh well, let me try and get a couple positions. Let me try and move up here. Let me try and do this, and again, it's way too early. I'm not saying don't race, and I'm not saying if there's an opportunity, don't go for it, but you got to race smart. I mean, there's so much more time left in this race. You got to be smart about it. And and if you're going to go 3 wide, you can go 4 wide at this track. There's no reason to be side drafting. I'll say that right now. You want to go 3 wide here? You can absolutely go 3 wide. We can go 3 wide through this entire pack, and there's plenty of room to do so. I mean, you see the lines here. It's not it's not Daytona. Daytona is about 3-4 feet less in between each of those lines. Here at Talladega, there's room to go 4 wide if you really want to. So if you're going 3 wide, give room. Do not even think about getting close enough to the side draft and trying, I'm going to try and use a side draft to get on by this guy. Just stop. Just stop. Relax. There's plenty of racing left to go, but we'll get this thing back going. And while we do, and while I catch my breath here a little bit, I'm going to let Jimmy catch his breath as well, and we're going to turn over to a little Love to Hear It.
Love to hear it. Hate to see it.
sights and sounds here of the Core O'Reilly Series. A little love to hear it by us here at Sierra N, and love to see the good racing here. For the most part, these drivers were single file all the way through the field there for quite a bit of laps. Now starting to get a little bit too wide action here. I would think we're getting a little close to some pit stops here as well. A lot of these drivers came in on lap number 21. Some of them came in on lap number 27. So we'll see how this all plays out here. There's definitely going to be a lot of drivers that are going to want to stay out here for another 5 laps or so. But if they're drivers that pit on lap number 21 on that outside line, you're going to have to find a way to the inside. And right there on cue, Jimmy, we got some drivers missing it. A lot of drivers. AJ Roderick misses it. We got some bumping and banging. Looks like
that was almost good though.
We're definitely going to have some penalties on this one. Looks like Billy Rickett, Colin Flickinger are a couple that had some penalties. I don't know how the 5 of Alan Elwood got it slowed down in time, but unfortunately it cost his teammate AJ Roderick a safe entry. But it looks like he may be able to get away without getting a penalty on that one, which is kind of crazy. If that's the case, maybe a little cheat. If you know you're not going to make the pit road, just drive through the grass and then come into the pits. And as long as you're doing the speed, I guess it's somehow a safe entry. If he doesn't get a black flag, I don't know. I mean, we've had some weird things happen with iRacing before, but right now, Ethan Winters leads the way, and now he's going to lead the field into pit lane here. We'll see if this one comes in a little bit cleaner. Looks like it is. Everyone got to get in here a little bit cleaner beautiful. On this one. Jimmy, you got a green flag pit stop at a super speedway.
By 2 different groups. Obviously, the first one was a little more exciting. Had a lot more people coming in. Alan Elwood with a dazzling fast pit stop, though. It ends up kind of getting out there, kind of a solo.
Yeah, a little too far.
And a little too good. I mean, he has a pack of 4 coming up, so we'll definitely pay huge dividends. We got another group out there still. They were in lap number 27, so able to stretch it out. So, but the drivers that you're kind of watching here, well, they're coming out now. Ethan Winters, Joe Sullivan, and Joey Cruz, all kind of coming out in a tandem of 3. Travis Noble, the 01, and you can see here comes Alan Elwood, the solo, kind of hanging on with a group of 4.
And he's not going to be in front right there because Ethan Winters, Joe Sullivan, and Joey Cruz all out there because of the cleaner entry and exit out of pit road and the fact that they stayed together. Alan Elwood may have had the fastest pit stop, but it was to his detriment as he had nobody to draft with. Right now, we still got 3 cars out there in a line. The 2 of them in front there are your top 2 in the race. That's Chris Hayes and Dan Phelps. They last pit on lap number 27. The car right behind him, the 016, is a lap car of Michael Rakes, but he's certainly helping out here as well. He last pit on lap number 27 as well, and is the first car 1 lap down. So he's got plenty of reason to stick with this group as well. He's the lucky dog at this point, as thought the 180 was going to dip into the pits right there, but not going to happen just yet. So these 3 need to stay in line, need to stay clean, need to drive fast here because they're in a capper seat. If something were to happen, they would be able to come in and to get their last pit stop done and dusted, which everyone should be good to go here except for these 3. I don't see them being able to make it on a 28-lap run. Especially when the cars just came in pit after about 21 laps. So you got to figure that around maybe 2 more laps maybe they have in the tank here before they have to come into the pits. But the ones that are following them right now, another 3-car breakaway, and that is Ethan Winters, Joe Sullivan, and Joey Cruz, as they are your next 3 in line. Alan Elwood did get passed, but only by 1 car. That's Brian Vorse right here in the number 80. So Elwood tucks in behind him as he knows he's going to try and push and catch up to those 3 cars in front. They need to get this pack going. They got a good group of cars here. They got 6, 7 cars here in this group, but they got to stay in line. They got to be fast to try and catch those 3 that will ultimately be the top 3 once Hayes and Phelps come into the pits. They're going to go around for at least 1 more.
They're going to go around 1 more time, and we're coming down here. We're down to 9 laps to go. We're about to, cross that line here for 8 more, and things are, are tight here. They're those three could be in a in that spot to not the top three, not Chris Hayes and Phelps, but Joe Sullivan, Joey Cruz, and Brian. That group there is, got a little bit of a nice little gap there, like a second. So and with the other two cars behind
coming into the pits. Can they get it wound up in time? That looked pretty hot for a couple of them, and Chris Hayes is going to get a black flag on that entry. So the 180 going to have to serve a 40-second hold. Dan Phelps and Michael Rakes were able to get it down to pit road speed and will make their pit stops. As again, Rakes was the first car one lap down. But now we take a look at your leaders that are right here on line. You see the 56 there of A.J. Roderick. It looks like he did have to serve a penalty. Just didn't show the black flag on my screen, but he did have a 40-second hold. So now it looks like he may be the first car one lap down up in this lead pack here. And it is a breakaway with Ethan Winters, Joe Sullivan, Joey Cruz. Your top three right there in line are on the lead lap. And then the next two, A.J. Roderick, Colin Flickinger, those two are battling for the lucky dog position. So you wonder, how much they're going to stay in line or how much they want to get to battling themselves. And if that battle starts to happen, will the train come? And the train is starting to reel in the field as they got Brian Vorse leading that second line of 7 cars. Alan Elwood, Joe Thomas. Then you got Dylan Emerson right here in 7th place. Joe Truskowski, Travis Noble, and Josh Van Westen. The rest of your top 10. So the top 10 all within about 2 seconds of each other, but a bit of a gap between 3rd and 4th right now as Ethan Winters leads the way right now. And then after the top 10, you got Luis Arduna leading a little group of 3 right here, but they're about 9.5 seconds off of the top 10 right now. So pretty big spread, and you see it, with the little pockets, the little packs of Skittles. I guess a little fun size right now, Jimmy, out there and in the little groups. Now you see, look at it, you see right there that the back two kind of dropping off the pace here a little bit. Now the question is, Jimmy, I know we talked about A.J. Roderick, wanting to be in that lucky dog position. Is he backing up this field for his teammate since he is not on the lead lap? Is he trying to back up this front 3 back to that second group to give Alan Elwood a chance at this win? It's certainly there could be a little team play here, as you see right now. They're kind of falling off this pace a little bit. And I don't see any damage on the 56. He's staying, within drafting range, but not by much. Just kind of staying right on the edge there and maybe trying to give a tow back to the 80. And they don't need much more, Jimmy, because they are coming.
Yeah, they're at 1.1, and so that is within range. And they are, won't be long. They'll be there.
They are there, Jimmy.
We got 5 laps to go, and the train's coming. So it's when are they gonna break out? When they gonna move? Obviously, was the whole heart of play there of the 56 to kind of let up and gonna get out of the way. So lap cars helped the other group catch up to spice this thing up. Gonna move out of the way. They're not in the fight. Yeah, let the top 10 battle it out. So here we go, Carl. 5 laps left.
Don't want to push the pusher there mid-corner. As now the 80 is going to get put out there, and now we got at least 2 wide, almost 3 wide there for a second. Elwood gets Vorse out of the way. Doesn't want to lose that top 3 because they are locked in lockstep right now as Winters leads the way. The number 1 of Joe Sullivan not leaving his back bumper at all, and we got a big wreck here in turn number 3, trying to catch who all is involved, and they're going to slide down the track here. It's going to bring us under a late race caution here with less than 5 laps to go. We may have some green-white checkered action. We'll take a look and see what happened on this one.
That looked like the biggest net code I think I've ever seen.
No, right there. The 59 gets in the back of the 80. Mid-corner. Ends up taking out the 41, the 56, and the 67. Both your top 2 drivers 1 lap down involved in that one, so probably no lucky dog for this one. We'll take a look at it one more time here, but it looked like that was all on the 59 here. See right there, getting into the back of the 80, trying to push him through the corner, but kind of swipes a little bit to the right. The 80 gets loose, tries to save it, and ends up getting across and hooked to the front nose of the 59. Takes out Dylan Emerson. Hard impact right there into the outside wall. 56, nowhere to go. 67, nowhere to go as well. And that's going to bring us on our late cautions. 67 trying to hug the wall just to get on by, but unfortunately, you see right there, the 41 drifts up into his nose. And we'll take a look at it again one more time, and from the cockpit of the 41. And if you're squeamish, certainly turn away right now, because this was a pretty heavy impact. If I can find the 41.
Oh.
There we go.
I don't think the 59 touched it even. Just took, I think he got the air off him.
So all the pit stops are done and dusted. I don't think we'll see anybody come into the pits. I think everybody should be good to go, and it's not like they need tires. The only question would be, you know, if you took enough fuel to get this thing done in regulation, and if this thing goes into overtime, will you have enough fuel to get it done? But right now, it's Ethan Winters leading the way. Joe Sullivan, Joey Cruz, Alan Elwood, Joe Thomas, Travis Noble, Josh Van Westen, Brian Vorse, Joseph Truskowski, and Elise Arduna for your top 10. But how about the break for some of the drivers that were, you know, kind of leading that pack? That was about 9 seconds off the pace. Luis Arduna was back there along with Jason Lepan, Jacob Grube, Dan Phelps. They're all back up here in the mix now, back up there with a chance to get this thing, you know, get a win on this one. And we're going to be going into overtime already, Jimmy, because pace car lights are still on, so we're going to have at least one more pace lap here, and it should just barely take us into our first green-white checkered. Looks like the 180 will be the wave around car here, as he's going to go around and get himself back onto the lead lap, I believe, or is he multiple laps down? Trying to see. No, he is. Chris Hayes now going to be back on to the lead lap, so a break there for Hayes, as he was not up there with AJ Roderick or Colin Flickinger. And Flickinger and Roderick caught up in the incident, so it's going to go to the 80 or the 180. And we'll be back to 18 cars on the lead lap. And Jimmy at Talladega, green white checker time, however many cars on the lead lap are exactly the amount of drivers that have a chance at the win.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing about Talladega. Anything can happen, and you know, they could have a wreck up front trying to defend their position, and you know, end up, you know, with the, you know, getting, you know, finishing 18th. So I mean, that's got to kind of go to the drivers up in the top here when they're making a decision. You know, you see some of the drivers that have been up front having, you know, some decent races throughout the season, especially the likes of Joey Cruz. Has been having some decent races, even through the midst of the caution fest races, being able to be guided and make smart decisions, and finds himself up front again here in the top 5, sitting in P number 3 at the moment. You know, and I'm going to end up starting down that bottom side, and it's going to be his job to, you know, push the 39. And 39 has some time on the track, for sure. Obviously, I don't know much about Ethan. But I can tell you that with 4,500 iRating, you have your fair share of races and officials. So I'm
just
sure
one
he's
or
been
two.
Just one or two, 100 or so. But yeah, so you know, they all have a chance to win. Got some defending to do, and this is where, if you have super speedway experience, how to defend is an art and a skill, and we'll see if the 39 has that, or he could be a sit and duck, or, you know, at least everybody's going to be chasing him down and letting them sit out the drive. But, you know, but if I'm like somebody like Joey Cruz, and I've had good races so far this season, as much as I would want that win, it might be just who of me to just push the guy in front of me, you know, to a win, so I can get a good finish here for the race and start thinking points, you know. You know, and it's hard to tell drivers that too, but it is an outcome, you know, from race to race. And if you don't have to drop a race, and all your races have been top 5s, you know, here at Talladega, where things could be a crapshoot, is definitely one of those. So the only thing with the 39 is I have seen him blink a little bit tonight, so it can be a little tough to push a blinker in case you push too hard and then he's gone. You're like, where'd he go?
Push directly in, yeah.
And then he blinks right on top of your windshield. So yeah, that's the only danger here for the 39, and it could cause problems. But up front, got Ethan Winters, Joe Sullivan, Joey Cruz, Alan Elwood, Joe Thomas for your top 5, Travis Noble, Josh Van Wissen, Bryce Fords, Joseph Truskowski, and Louis Orduna for your top 10.
All right, Jimmy. So here's the question. I'm not going to ask where you want to be here on this restart. I'm going to simply ask, if you're Joe Sullivan right now, what do you want to do? Do you want to get a restart that's good enough that you can slide down in between the 28 and the 39, because you've been clearly working well with the 39 pretty much this entire race? Or do you want to stay out there with the defending champion, the 5 of Alan Elwood right out there? But are you worried that Elwood's going to leave you out to dry on that last lap as well? So probably a lot going on through the mind of the 1 right now. We're back to green flag racing here at Talladega. Green, white, checkered attempt number 1. There's a chance of 2 green, white, checkered attempts here tonight, as usual. And a good start here for the 1. Forget ducking down behind the 39. Maybe he's going to have that 5 push him right to the front, as we got a good restart here from the field heading off onto the backstretch.
And that's a solid start from the field here tonight. You wouldn't imagine 3 weeks ago them couldn't get across the start-finish line after a lap, and here, great start here. Obviously got to wind these cars up to get up to speed. All over the back bumper of the 1, knows he needs to push, and he also could be in that situation knowing he has to get that momentum on the outside. If you can't let him out there now, they still have 1 lap to go, so it's not the time to strike. But he's going to push on that 1, and he's got a nice little gap at 01, kind of chilling back there. Travis Noble doing what he needs to do, just kind of hang there. But Luis Orduna's going to take a look to the outside and try to force this thing 3 wide. We're coming down to the...
we got the white flag, Jimmy. 1 more lap to go. Yeah, here we go. This thing is going to end under green, just the way we like it here. Just 1 extra lap here for the drivers here tonight. 55 wasn't enough. Got to make it 56. As who is going to win is the question. Joey Cruz all over the backside of the 39. And maybe getting him a little loose there, as the 1 and the 5 together. The 59 getting involved in a wreck, so we're going to have a few that are going to wreck going into turn number 3, still wrecking back there, but the battle is for the win here. Side drafting through 3 and 4. The 1 and the 39, nothing in between them right now. And who is the 218 going to follow? How about Joe Thomas up there in the top 5? He's looking to try and get a win side by side through the trial while bumping and banging. Ethan Winters, Joe Sullivan is not going to get the win. It is going to go to Alan Elwood by 0.02 of a second is what I'm showing on SDK. But, I mean, to me, that looked like... yeah, that mean,
the other way.
I see Joe Sullivan in 3rd, but I don't see that happening. I mean, I think SDK may be a little wrong on that one. We'll take a look at that checker flag here one more time.
iRacing says Joe, Alan, Ethan.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it here. Coming across the line, and we'll slow it up here on the front stretch, and then we'll get you to the photo finish and show you what it looked like. But you see right here, bumping and banging. Winters trying to lean on the Joe Sullivan. Joe Sullivan trying to lean on Winters. Alan Elwood just trying to push the 1 for all his might. I'm not sure what you're doing here for your Joe Thomas, but coming to the line here, and you're going to see it right here. Joe Sullivan, your winner, as Alan Elwood's going to come home in 2nd, and Ethan Winters in 3rd. So I'm not sure what SDK was doing on that one, unless we're missing something here. But yeah, it is Joe Sullivan. So we're not going to give the other results here via SDK. We're going to show you what the results were from
iRacing.
From iRacing, if I can get it.
Yeah, I have my SDK has Joe Sullivan, Alan Elwood, and Winters the same as iRacing. But I want to say congratulations to all the drivers, especially to the 1 for sticking it out. I'm proud of the 1 finally putting the number 1 in the number 1 spot. I do have to duck out of here as a child needs my assistance.
Yeah, it's a little more.
So he's not
just a little bit
stranded. So. Again, appreciate everybody coming out. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe here to CRN. And again, good luck to the drivers. See you all next week.
I'm going to try and see if get the feature results here, if that shows up correctly. And yeah, there we go. So we'll go ahead and minimize this, and we'll show you what the official results are here for tonight. And man, what a finish here as Joe Sullivan gets the win. Alan Elwood in second. Ethan Winters, Joey Cruz, Joe Thomas for your top 5. Jacob Grube, Terry Jansen, Luis Orduna, Chris Gilbert, Jason LePan for your top 10. Then you got Brian Vorse, Ricky Renner, Matt Crockett, Josh Van Westen, Joe Truskowski, Chris Hayes, Travis Noble. Try and get down a little bit further here. Dan Phelps, Colin Flickinger, and Billy Rickett for your top 20. And then rounding out your 30-car field, going to be Dylan Emerson, Michael Rakes, Jason Allegrini, Jared Couch, Jeremy Gainey, AJ Roderick, Stephen Harris, Dalton Drummonds, Chase Halford, and Gary Wright for your 30-car field. We'll take a look back here on the final lap and see if we can see what happened there on the white flag lap. I know it involved Truskowski, so we'll try and get a playthrough here. We'll speed it up here so we can get to turn number 3 where the action ultimately happened here. But you see already 3 wide there into turn number 1 as they're going a little bit faster than 190 right now. But right here is ultimately where I think it started getting a little bit crazy. Heading into turn number 3 and maybe Truskowski trying to go 3 wide. And I see the 21 Van Westen a little bit of a bobble, and that's where you see the cars coming up there. Phelps getting involved, Allegrini getting involved. And a bit of a mix-up on that one. But ultimately, heck of a finish here tonight. And we're going to get our top drivers in for their interviews in a second. Want to take a second and thank everyone out there in Sierra Nation for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so already, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer, as we definitely seen a better race here tonight. I want to thank our sponsors, simraces.com and Kim's Cups and more for everything that they do here for the series. But we're going to go ahead and get our top drivers in here for the interview. Just want to round everybody up, and then we'll have them for a little chat. All right, looks like we got our top 3 in here. We'll try and get 5 interviews done here tonight, but we're going to go ahead and bring in our 3rd place finisher here tonight, and that's going to be the 39 of Ethan Winters. Ethan, heck of a finish here as Talladega more often than not kind of puts on something fun here at the end, and you guys really kind of set yourself up way before that. It seemed like you and the one of Joe Sullivan really working together out there on the track and putting together some really great strategy as well when it comes to the pitting. And you guys seem like you had this thing in the bag, and then the late race caution came out.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun to try and get that outside line to work. No one could really form it. So when I felt like I had 2 really good cars behind me, I figured, yeah, I'm going to pull out and see if they follow suit. And it worked out. So right before, pit stop cycle, we got some track position. And I think we were honestly flawless on the pit road. Very good, very quick, and tidy coming off as well. So got ourselves track position. And then with the caution, it's kind of just a shootout there. You don't know what to expect, and it's all about who gets the best push and when.
So I got to ask you, because I kind of go back and forth about this all the time when it comes to super speedways, and clearly by your iRating, you've had your fair share of racing, even in officials. Were you in the position that you wanted to be on the final restart? I know, for me, I don't know if I'd really want to be in the lead. You're certainly the hunted and not the hunter. Were you more comfortable in the lead, or would you rather be one of those hunting?
Yeah, I think in this car, I felt like the runs were very minimal. If you run like the next gen or even the trucks, you're gonna get a lot of runs, but today it just felt like the runs were not there. So I feel like being in the lead, I was very comfortable. And I can only thank Joey behind me. He was giving me tons of pushes. I was just trying to keep the car straight best I could. But yeah, the outside line, they just they stayed connected a little bit better off 4. I think Joey was probably laying back a little bit to try and get a run coming to the line. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain. It was a good race.
Well, you certainly were back in the field a little bit for quite a bit of the race, and you had to work your way through. So, congrats on the podium here tonight and finishing in third. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I just want to, shout out and thank Delta Sport. I race with these guys every week, and Sim Shop, all the guys that sponsor us, Sud Speed. It's just nice to have a backing there, and it's fun to kind of come into these different leagues and just show everybody, what we're about. So appreciate you guys having us.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, congrats again on the finish here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week.
Alrighty, thank you.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, Ethan Winters, and the number 39. Second place here tonight is going to go to the driver of the 5, Alan Elwood. Alan, you had a heck of a comeback through the field, as we've seen once or twice from you in the 5. I know you definitely seem to be wanting to be out front for pretty much this entire race to try to avoid any kind of chaos, but you made your way back through the field. You restarted the last restart there in 4th, and it looked like you were really doing everything you could to push that one to the front.
Yeah, it was definitely trying. It was really hard to push because it would overheat within like a lap. So I knew that was going to be the case. Just try to make sure that, how I was pushing him, that when it got around to say like 3 and 4 on the last lap, that if we were in that same spot, that I had enough to actually push him to the win, because this draft model is just so much different than it used to be. It's really difficult to really push anybody. So it just, I don't know. I'm not a really big fan of it anymore. It used to be a lot more fun than what it is now. But I guess that's kind of the way it is in real life too. It's you got kind of that bubble that you have to deal with. So I just made sure that, hopefully that he could handle the bumps, and he did great. And then also trying to just really, side draft the guys on the inside too, to make sure they didn't break out. And I thought I did a really good job with that, and keeping Joe right up there at the front of it. So when it came down to the tri-oval, I knew that there was probably going to be some sort of contact, but when the contact happened, I was just a little bit too close to him to try to even make a move to the right. So I gave him one last shove and basically said, "Go win it, Joe." And if you don't, I'm going to try my best to win it myself. And obviously he got it, but it was a hell of a finish, and glad we were there with teammate making a mistake getting on the pit road kind of cost us a little bit. So
a little bit. It came in just a little bit. Well, both of you came in a little bit hot there. I seen you locked it up there as well, and AJ I don't think really had anywhere to go but through the grass. And I was kind of wondering for the longest time, because I seen a few other cars that came in behind you guys get their black flags, but AJ eventually made it through the grass and then made it onto the pit road, and it didn't register him on SDK that he had a black flag. I'm like, did he find a way to cheese the system there and get away with it? But no, I ended up seeing him stay in there for another 40 seconds, unfortunately. But you guys definitely had a good package here tonight.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun trying to make sure that obviously we stayed out front, stayed away from calamity, like you said, because there was a few moments tonight for sure. But just unfortunate from his side of things that he didn't get the finish he deserved. But at least one of us was up there, and at least got a podium out of it, so we'll take it.
It's got to feel good for you guys to at least get some green flag laps in here, and makes sense. Of course, that would come at Talladega, a place that's known for quite a lot of calamity and cautions, but some good green flag running out there, and even a green flag pit stop, which of course made my co-commentator Jimmy extremely happy here tonight. So maybe not so much for AJ, because it's of course the one that cost him. And I just got done saying in the last caution pit stop that AJ loves it. Well, now I see why. But either way, congrats on the second place finish here tonight. I will say that I had to look at iRacing, because SDK has the winner by 0.2 of a second. So maybe we'll have to take a look at it again. But we did look at it in slow-mo, seeing that you came home in second. But either way, SDK wants to give you the win. But congrats on the second place here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Well, obviously first off, Simrat Market, Rudder Racing Development, everybody on this EDE team. It's been a battle this season so far to get the finishes that we want, and another tonight was another case of just some good luck and some bad luck. So, but we'll see if maybe this kind of rights the ship a little bit, at least on my side of things, that maybe we can get it back turned around, get another win. But overall, just solid effort from our group tonight, and we'll see what next week holds.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on the second place finish here tonight. We'll see you next week at Texas and see if you can get back to victory lane.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
That is driver of the 5, Alan Elwood, coming home in second place here tonight. The man that came home on top of the boards, the one of Joe Sullivan. Joe, I gotta think you're just a little bit happy to be talking to us here.
Hey, did I call it or did I call it? If you remembered, I said I was going to win at Dega and jump myself back in the gold. I don't know if I'm going to get back in the gold, but I said I was going to win at Dega. And here we are.
So I got to ask you, and I asked Jimmy when when the situation came up. You come to the green-white checkered there. You're in second place. I would assume you're probably happy with where you are, the fact that you're in second place. But the guy that's in first, the 39 of Ethan Winters, you worked majority of the race with him, and you guys pulled off a really great strategy there in the second half of the race. And if the caution didn't come out, maybe you guys were in a good spot, to finish where you were anyway. But what were your thoughts on that final restart? Because you have Ethan Winters on the inside of you, but you got the defending champion of Alan Elwood right behind you as well. So I mean, how much was going through your mind at that time?
Well, I'm glad Alan was behind me because I felt that gave me even more confidence than I already had, coming into this race. I mean, I always do good here at the big tracks, and I knew he would push good, and I really haven't gotten used to the pushes yet in this, but I was able to hold it there coming to the line. But yeah, just having him behind me, I knew he was going to give some good solid pushes, and me and Ethan did work really well together there. Right before the pit cycle, we jumped the outside and ran down the leaders and was able to, I think, gain a bunch of time on them right there. And then we pit that next lap, and we didn't have to take as much fuel as they did because we had that 6 lap extras on them. But yeah, before that caution came out, I was sizing it up and trying to figure out when and how I was going to make a move, and then the caution came out. So I'm sure that was a pretty exciting finish. I mean, even
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, it was so exciting that SDK actually gave the win to Alan and put you in third. So I don't know what SDK was watching. Maybe SDK thought it was Daytona, and the start-finish line was in the middle of the straightaway. But it was all kinds of wacky. So even SDK, I think, was celebrating a little too early.
Yeah, I thought he had won too because I seen him jet to the outside of me there, and when I looked over at the results, it showed him winning, and I was like, damn, he got me. And then it switched again. I think it switched like 2 or 3 times before it finally stopped and said I was the winner. So it was, that was close. That's how you want to finish a race at Dega. Like that's some good stuff right there.
Yeah, we watched it back in slow-mo, and can confirm the one came across the line before the 5 out there. So congrats on a win here tonight. It's got to feel damn good. But I got to ask, what was the pressure like at the end of qualifying with this new format? And you were the bubble boy there, coming in 20th place and just barely avoided the LCQ.
I was like, I qualified. I'm like, all right, that should be good enough. And then it's like, I'm keep falling down. And then I had to count the numbers all the way down. And I was like, oh, you're 19th. Okay, we may be all right. And then it went to 20th, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. And then like 10, 20 seconds later, it went to the grid, and it didn't tell me to grid up. So and then I went and looked, and it said 20th. I was like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Well, at least we made it. So I never qualify good here for whatever reason. I just don't got it down. But I was able to avoid the LCQ and didn't avoid the first wreck. We got 4 minutes of damage off the rip, but we were able to get it fixed and finally get up to the front, and we made it happen.
Yeah, I guess the qualifying was the win before the win, but yeah, that was kind of going to be the next question. But you kind of answered the question for me there. Is we did see off pace a couple times early on. Even before the wreck, it looked like you fell back off the pack, and then I figured the back end damage was what was kind of holding you back from getting in the draft the second time out there. But I said to Jimmy, he's got the Skull Bandit car out there, so you got to pack that can a little bit, and maybe he packed it a little bit too much there in the back. But
yeah.
But either way, you get the W here tonight. So congrats on being our 4th different winner through 4 races here tonight, and some good green flag racing for once here in the series as well. So before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'll give a shout out to you guys up in the booth. Definitely, I'll go back and watch all of them, but this one's going to be a pretty exciting finish to watch, so go back and watch this, and shout out to all the drivers out there tonight. Way to, we got green flag stops tonight. That's awesome.
Yes, Jimmy was happy.
It's an improvement. Yeah, it's an improvement. wasn't so much for AJ. I gotta give AJ a shout out on that. I don't know what happened to him, but I seen he was a lap down. So, but yeah, just shout out to everybody at Core and man, ready to keep this momentum rolling. I've flipped a switch and we'll see if we can't keep it rolling.
Yeah, we should have dropped you down in the silver earlier. All of a sudden, you're kind
Yeah.
of waking up here a little bit.
I know. You
Well-
woke up a monster, so
Exactly. Well, congrats again on the win here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Texas.
all right, we'll see you.
That's your winner here tonight, the one of Joe Sullivan by 0.02 of a second. He gets it done over Alan Elwood. We're going to bring in a couple more here for some interviews, and certainly well-deserved, as fourth place finisher here tonight is going to go to the number 28 of Joey Cruz. Joey, you were in kind of one of those prime positions here on the final restart, and you were starting right behind the leader, probably right where you maybe wanted to be, or did you feel boxed in? Because I know I say to Jimmy all the time, Jimmy likes to be on the inside. I'd rather be on the outside. I feel like I can spread out a little bit. I can make moves if I need to. You were tucked in right behind the leader. Were you happy to be there, or would you rather be on the outside?
Honestly, looking back at the replay, I would probably rather take the outside because that bottom lane just wasn't moving. I was hoping I could push the leader out front and see if I could make a move on him, but it just didn't go to play right there. So I was just trying to see if I could get what I could with being on the bottom, but didn't work out. And then because I was pushing him so hard, like I almost think I wrecked him like at least twice. So apologies to the 39 for that, but yeah, no, it's just one of those cases where I did everything I could, but just the circumstances didn't really work out for this twin drill Chevrolet. But the finish was pretty good, so I'll definitely take a top 5 after the the day I've had.
Yeah, I mean, any top 5 at Talladega is, in my opinion, a win. If you can get anywhere close to the podium, is great. If you can get a win, it's just kind of a unicorn. But I mean, you finish in the top 5 here, top gold driver as well, and probably the most important thing is you qualified well enough to avoid the LCQ. And I gotta imagine, how much is that on the minds of the drivers now with that being the case, and some of these tracks that are coming up. Obviously next week at Texas, you're gonna have to put in a good effort. But at tracks like Watkins Glen, you don't have to worry about it. But are there any tracks on the schedule that you kind of worry about the qualifying effort?
Um, I would say this one was the main one because you get a lot of guys who anybody could be at the top here at Talladega. Like I saw like a lot of even the front guys who are like towards the back of the field as well for qualifying and put to the LCQ. Like 51, for example, he's a great driver, but ended up being put in the LCQ. So, knowing that could happen to anyone, especially at Talladega, did kind of frighten me a bit, but I was really happy to qualify 11th. So sorry, no disrespect to the 51. He's an awesome driver, but oh my God, just to at least qualify and avoid the LCQ and learn a little bit from those guys, it was definitely a stress reliever for sure. I can tell you that, and I'd say for other tracks on the schedule that I'm worried about, I don't know. I mean, because Watkins Glen, you don't got to worry about. Not too sure. Just gonna keep running practice races, so that way I'm not too worried about it. I think I'd be more worried if I just botched my qualifying lap, because that would really
Well,
suck.
and that's what I was gonna say. I mean, you get a track like maybe Dover. All it takes is one little mistake. Coming out of turn number 4 on that first lap, and both your laps are kind of beat. So you definitely you need to be fast, but kind of smart as well. You almost need to put a banker lap in there first, and then really kind of go at it. But we'll see how you guys do the rest of the season. But so far, so good here tonight. A good top 5 for you out here tonight, and certainly going to help you out in the points as well. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Well, I want to give a shout out first off to my dad. I know he's watching the race, so got another top 5. No win again today, but it's coming. I definitely know a win is coming this season. Shout out to all my friends, family back home who keep supporting me. All the guys here at UNOH as well. And shout out to my crew chief Dan, who sadly wasn't here to join us tonight or to help give the calls, but was able to manage and kind of trust my instincts on this one. So hopefully I can have him back on the pit box sometime soon. So Dan, I miss you, and again to everybody who keeps supporting me. with what I do. I love y'all, man. So I'm trying to get a win for y'all this season. It's coming, guys. Just we'll be patient now. It's
It's not
getting
easy.
there.
It's not easy.
We
I
gotta
will give you that.
we gotta trust the process, man. It's like, maybe I gotta finish like fourth or fifth these races so I can finish second or first in the next few. But again, with what you were saying earlier, especially with Dover, I swear to God, if I hear you've got wheel damage one more time, I'm going to lose it, man. Like Ed is like probably the thing I've heard the most on iRacing. Like I'm just like, yeah, I get it. I got wheel damage. What else is new?
Unless
So
a
hopefully
meatball
none of
pops
that
up.
at Dover.
Yeah, unless a meatball pops up, I don't want to hear about it. Exactly.
Oh
Well,
my God, no! Don't even get me started on those people. No, no, no.
well, listen. Congrats again on the finish here tonight, and yeah, it's definitely been a quite a journey here. Started off in the bronze division, and now all of a sudden, top gold driver right now here tonight, and got thoughts of getting out there and getting a win. So, congrats on the process that you've gone through so far, and we'll see if trust in the process gets you a win here at some point this season. But either way, celebrate this one, a good top 5 here tonight. We'll see you out there at Texas next week.
Hell yeah, brother. See you then.
That is the driver of the number 28, Joey Cruz, coming home in fourth, and the top gold driver here tonight. Top bronze driver, you don't have to look too far back in the finishing order. Top 5 for the 218 of Joe Thomas. Joe, you were definitely in a prime spot there coming to the end of this race, and you got to watch the top 4 battle it out. I'm sure hoping that they would maybe wreck in that tri-oval, maybe get you a chance at the podium or even a win, but I'll be damned if a top 5 isn't going to be too bad for you here as well.
Yeah, I'll be happy with it. I'm happy with the top 5 after taking 3 or 4 weeks off, and it's kind of rough coming back after that long and only being this being the second race, but it was a good finish. And I was just, after Joey and who was it, Ethan wrecked out, I was just hoping I was fast enough to get on the podium, but it didn't work out.
So, I mean, talk to me about the process. Kind of talk to Joe about it a little bit, and even to Joey, the new process of you got to qualify in or you got to race your way in with the LCQ. You unfortunately were one of those drivers that had to race your way in through the LCQ, and here at Talladega, it's a tough one. I mean, I might be one of the you guys as well, being out back there in the LCQ, is I cannot qualify at super speedways for whatever reason. So this is kind of now out of the way, and now maybe you get a little bit better chance of qualifying on these other tracks. But here tonight, Talladega, it had to be super stressful trying to get through the LCQ.
It was. I kind of shot myself in the foot and slept in a little late past my alarm clock, and so I had 5 minutes to log in and use the bathroom, and then came in sat down with about 2:30 left and in qualifying. But Talladega, you take forever to get that warm up lap, and the clock stopped when I was in the tri-oval on the qualifying lap, so I didn't put a time in. Had to work from the back. Just wanted to be patient. Knew something was going to happen in the LCQ, and couple of things did, and I got up there. I wasn't worried about pushing, just worried about making the top 10 and then get working the main.
Well, you made your way, excuse me, into the main, made your way up through the field, and I know it was a little hectic, I'm sure, especially at the start of the race here tonight. But you have to be there at the end to have any kind of chance, and you got to be extremely close to the front here and finish in the front as well. I mean, the top 5 is no laughing matter, and like you said, how many bronze drivers up there in the top of the field here for the finish. You got to be there. You got to just try and work your way through the first 50 laps and be there for those last 5, and I guess 56 laps here tonight. But either way, you get yourself a top 5 here tonight. Great finish and a top spot here for the bronze. So who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, as always, you and Jimmy. I saw him disappear and then hop back in, I guess. And Finesse for Vets, Operation Motorsport, simraces.com for sponsoring this season, and yeah, go to all their websites and check them out, support them, and that's it.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the top 5 finish here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Texas.
All right, have a good one.
You too, buddy. That is the 218 of Joe Thomas coming home in 5th place here tonight, top bronze driver. Before we get out of here, do want to send a special shout out and kind of wish I've said it before this, but a shout out to the Tilford family. Going through some issues right now, and certainly, excuse me, thoughts and prayers to them out there, and hopefully everything goes well. I don't want to go into any kind of details or anything like that, but definitely thoughts and prayers from the CRN family, and also another shout out and more thoughts and prayers out to Tracy with Tracy and Don and Ronald Cook over there as well, and hoping for a speedy recovery for Tracy as well. But that is going to do it for us here tonight. We still got plenty of racing left this week here on CRN. We got tomorrow night CSRL in the GT series, or not GT, multi-class series this season. And then we got the VVR and Core GT doubleheader on Thursday night. So definitely hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that we have to offer here on CRN. But for myself and Jimmy from the Talladega Superspeedway, we'll see you at the track.
Good evening, my people up in the chandeliers. The wine and dining, the menu is blood, sweat, and tears. Everybody ready, raining down confetti. Champions are born right now. Hear about the glamour, click goes the hammer. Run when you hear that sound. Heroes never die, gonna make it to the finish line. We know we survive, even if we crawl to the finish line. I won't believe it, underdog dreaming, don't need no cheers, world's gonna say it. Heroes never die, gonna make it to the finish line. Dreams just keep dripping out of their golden cups. I'm starving, leftovers ain't enough. Ain't about the Royals, they do nothing for you. All you got is you right now. Who is gonna falter? Who is gonna conquer? Better never count me out. Heroes never die, gonna make it to the finish line. We know we survive, even if we crawl to the finish line. I won't believe it, underdog dreaming, don't need no cheers, world's gonna say it. Heroes never die, gonna make it to the finish line. Gotta make it to the finish line every day, every day. Gotta make it to the finish line. Gotta make it to the finish line every day, every day. Gotta make it to the finish line.